like to welcome you guys to the ROD podcast, where only the facts shall set you free. Are you dumb or are you dumb? And I'ma holler at y'all. One. Hold on. Before we even start, let me make sure I get what I need. Hold on. There we go. We have gone live, people. Maybe I need to move it to the center of the screen. All right. We going live, people. Forgive me. We going live, people. What it do, y'all? Hold on. What it do, y'all? It's the Honorable Junns, not a Bantu or a Jew. Welcome back to the Redeem or Destroy podcast, where we deal with facts over beliefs and awaken the minds of the kidnaps. Tonight, I'm exposing one of the coldest receipts in modern American history. Before crack hit the neighborhood, before the so-called war on drugs destroyed black homes, UCLA scientists were in labs training monkeys to smoke cocaine. Yeah, you heard that. That's right, monkeys smoking crack years before it hit the hood, and they called it science. So before I proceed, I want to let you guys know that crack was not invented by black people in the hood trying to generate more money. No, no, no. Crack was invented in a lab by so-called scientists who then taught these drug dealers about this crack nonsense. And this is how brothers and sisters started cooking crack. Okay? Let's just get that clear. I wanted to just throw that out there. Okay? So today we're gonna talk. Let's talk the facts. We're gonna only talk facts, not fiction, not assumptions, not assertions, and damn sure not no beliefs. Okay? So the labs of Los Angeles, UCLA, a world famous research university, was conducting cocaine studies as early as the 1970s. Now, for those that don't know, crack cocaine made its appearance in the hood in the 80s. During the 70s, these individuals wanted to create a drug that was cheap, but just as fast, right, as heroin was in the 60s, 50s, and 60s. Okay? Okay? And another thing too, for you guys that been sleeping, the 70s was when they was pushing out the hippie agenda, where everybody wanted to be on drugs, be high, preparing for the disco. All of this is by design. But we're not gonna put the horse we're not gonna put the cart before the horse. Let's go. Okay? They weren't studying the drugs to stop addiction. They were studying how to reproduce it. One of their published papers read like a horror movie. It's on the PubMed, not a blog, not a conspiracy page. The title, Choices Between Cocaine and Food by what? The rhesus monkeys. Yes, rhesus monkeys effects of conditions of food availability. That pub MD ID number, for those that want to say it's conspiracy, the ID number is 11224 164. In fact, we don't even have to go that far. I'm going to pull it up for you. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know I'm going to pull it up. Oh, yeah. I'm going to put it up for you. So again, this is the PMID 1122464. The choices between cocaine and food by the rhesus monkeys, effects of conditions of food availability. Okay, this is what they was bringing to the public to justify why they was giving innocent monkeys crack cocaine to test out before they brought it to your house. Let's go. Let's read. It says, the present experiment was designed to examine the effects of the conditions of food availability on choices between cocaine and food and the rhesus monkeys. Monkeys, which they refer to N equal 3. Remember, according to the Constitution, you are considered 3/4 of a man. I hope all of this is just playing this part right now. But let us continue. Maintain at approximately 90% of their free feeding weight, were trained in a discrete trial choose procedures and allowed to choose between the intravenous injections of cocaine and the I about to say development delivery during the daily 7-hour sessions when food was available both within the sessions and by the supplement post-session feedings. The frequency of cocaine choice increased in dose related manner for all monkeys. When the supplemental post-session feeding was eliminated, i.e., food was only available within the session, the cocaine dose response function was shifted to the right and down, yes, relative to the found intentionally. However, changes in the frequency of the cocaine choices did not vary consistently with change in body weights. Thus, these results suggested that the reinforced efficiency of cocaine can be modified by changing the condition of availability of an alternative non-drug reinforce. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up to you guys is to let you guys know that these people was testing crack on monkeys in the 70s. And when they figure out the totality and what it can do to the body, as you can see, brothers, these monkeys was losing weight. Then they decided to bring this nonsense to the hood. And just to give you an understanding, every single drug dealer, drug lord was an informant, was a worker, an employee for the United States government. You heard it here. They were employees for the United States government. And like typical European American nonsense, when they was finished and they got what they need, they raided. Because what they did was after the raid, it allowed them to create laws to prevent or penalize brothers and sisters who decided to sell these drugs. Okay? Let us continue. Let us continue. Let me bring myself back because we gotta. I want to go back to the main screen. Let's go back. Can we, please? Can we? So, in that study, they literally taught monkeys to hit levers of cocaine instead of food. Once the primates got addicted, they started starving themselves to get high. The researchers called it behavioral condition. I call it what it really was, the rehearsal for the crack era. Okay? This is what it was, guys. This was the rehearsal for what you guys call the crack era. Okay? They knew exactly what was going to happen when the crack got into the hood. Okay? Let us continue. Because of that, crack flooded the black community like a biblical plague. Only this one was made by man in lab coats, not lightning from the sky. Oh no, oh no. See, they're always gonna do experiments on you. They experimented with religion, and when they got what they needed, they put you in shackles and they brought your ass to America, South America, Caribbean, even out in the Middle East. Okay? Okay? And then when it came to the crack, same procedure. Once they got it how they needed and they destroyed homes and families, they started putting rules and regulations. These rules and regulations are affecting us to this day. There are people sitting in jail right now doing life in jail for having not even a full eighth. They're doing life. Presidents, your vice president like John Kerry. Don't worry, I'm gonna pull these records for you. I can't put the horse before the cart. Right? Or however you say it. Now, Ronald K. Siegel, the behavioral architect. Yes, this is the man that created your crack. It wasn't Rick Ross. It wasn't Nicky Barnes. It wasn't Frank Lucas. It wasn't Frank Matthews. It was Ronald K. Siegel. It wasn't Alpo. It wasn't Rich Porter. You know, these individuals that they throw at you and make you guys imitate and want to chase the life that they was living. You know, one thing that all these people got in common? They're either dead, in jail, or on the mother effing run. Are you dumb or are you dumb? Huh? So let's talk about the man who ran many of these, what you call experiments, Dr. Ronald K. Siegel, a name you don't hear in your science textbooks, but one that show up in the declassified archives. He was the psychopharmacist, meaning he studied how drugs manipulated behavior, and he worked directly with both the UCLA and the CIA connection research circles. Huh? Oh, you want to see his work too? His archive work is right here, and we're gonna pull this one up too. Why not? Why not, people? Hold on. We're gonna pull this one up too. Hold on. Give me a second. I gotta make sure I put everything according to plan. Give me a second. Oh. They seem to have removed his work. They're not letting me pull it up. Hold on, let me try this again, just to be safe. Yep. I'm gonna show you exactly what my screen says. I want to show you exactly what my screen says. Hold on. I want to show you exactly what my screen says. Hold on. For those that's on TikTok, please come onto the YouTube and watch this live and direct. Please, please. Check this out. Check this out. This is what is coming up on my screen. It says it may have been taken down for various reasons, including by decisions of the uploader or due to violations of our terms of use. You notice that ever since we've been gaining access to information, you notice that things that is historical facts are seen now as going against community guidelines, term of use. But none of these things was ever a thought factor when these niggas was doing it in the first place, like when they was knee deep, when their hands was in it right then and there. It was never considered going against the term of use. It was never against the community guidelines. These people have the audacity to tell you what you're bringing forth is gonna be damaging to a community. Meanwhile, we have a mother effing scientist putting crack in a pipe and giving it to monkeys to smoke. I mean, if this is not war against humanity, if these people are not what you call the wicked of all wicked, I'm not even gonna base this off religion and call them the devil and all that. We leaving that European ideology and European view. We're gonna keep it right here, live and direct, as black as can be, as Alkebulan it can be. We're gonna call it for what it is. The wicked of all wicked would take a monkey and say, monkey, smoke this. Yeah. Let us continue. Let us continue. As you can see, you guys are seeing it on the screen. They have removed it because it's going against community guidelines. The audacity. Okay? But if you do get the chance, because if you dig deep hard enough, you will find the information. So you can go read his own words. He describes creating what he called control addiction modeling. Let me say that again. He created something and described it as control addiction modeling. In plain English, reproducing drugs dependency to predict and control human behavior. I thought he was serving this to monkeys. Remember what I showed you in the beginning. The monkeys was considered a N3. A N3. You are considered 3/4 of a man. Listen, let's continue. He even admitted that addiction could be engineered to managing population. Let me say that again, people. He even admitted that addiction could be engineered to manage population. You're wondering why they're putting all the dispensaries in the hood all of a sudden. You wondering why celebrities like Michael K. Williams will take something and it will have such a powerful drug that it will unalive him and he didn't even know it. Engineer addiction. Yes, people, I want you to think about that. Engineered addiction. I want you guys to think about that. Okay? He wasn't fighting drugs. Oh, no, no, no. He was mapping them, studying how to make minds obedient through chemical cravings. Let me say that again, because I don't think, hold on, man. Hold on, hold on, hold on. You guys got to see my face. You guys got to see my face. Hold on. Come back. For those that's on TikTok, please, come to the YouTube. Come to the Instagram. If you prefer to listen to me on the TikTok, then stay on TikTok. But if you want to see the full visuals on what I'm showing to the world, come on TikTok, come on Facebook, come on Rumble, follow me. How that song go? Follow me, follow me. Come, so you can understand exactly what's going on. They got us so brainwashed thinking that it was us that created crack. Like, yeah, man, we figure out that if you put baking soda with cocaine, you're gonna create crack. You're gonna be able to make more, sell for cheaper, and these people is gonna come back even more. Hey, this is what they told you. But in reality, this shit was made out of a lab. Oh, let us continue. Right? Now, fast forward to the 1980s, crack hit the streets, and suddenly the same patterns Siegel recorded in the monkeys are shown up in human communities. Some behaviors, same dependency cycles. It's not a coincidence. It's science turned social weaponry. Let me say that again. It's science turned into social weaponry. Okay? Okay, guys? They took what they learned from the laboratory and brought it up to you niggas. When you ever, matter of fact, I'm gonna hold my peace. Let us continue. Let's talk about the CIA connection. Yes. Now, if you think the UCLA act alone, you're missing the bigger picture. While these so-called addiction studies was happening, the CIA was already knee-deep in the drug testing through MK Ultra, MK Search, and Project Bluebird. They called it mind control research. Yeah. Remember, what's the man? What's the name? Pablo Escobar. His biggest supporters was the CIA. And like I told you, when they get what they need, they're always going to slay the cat. Huh? But let us continue. But who were they controlling? That's the question. They wasn't controlling the elite. Nope. They wasn't controlling the privilege. Nope. They was targeting the prisoners, the soldiers, the psychiatric patients, and yes, they also was studying the black man and the woman caught in the system. It's not a coincidence that our people that's knee deep in the system, I'm talking about need government assistance, all have a severe addiction. Everybody that you see with an addiction, I'm talking about crack cocaine, I'm talking about a severe addiction. There's a high possibility they are in complete dependence of the system. Me working in the social service field, I'm telling you guys this firsthand. The biggest drug users are the ones that are in demands of the Social Security. Yo, let me tell you how crazy things was, people. And I don't want to divert off the conversation, but let me tell you how crazy society is, right? There was people that I was their case manager and they was on my caseload. I had individuals that never had a job. I'm talking never had a job. I had clients that never went to school. But the minute they turn 60, 62, 59, and they show a level of disability or they show signs of, mental illness, these dudes was getting $1,500 every month. And then at the place where I was working at, it was literally a program home where Your rent is literally like $300, $200. Now you take that, you understand? You take that $200 and you leave them with what? $1,300. You already know they're not buying clothes. You already know they're not buying food. You already know that they rather smoke than eat, drink, anything. You know this. This is, and listen, I want to be frank and I want to be honest with you guys. They're putting that in the weed. I stopped touching the weed. It's over for that. Because they're putting it in the weed. Watch how individuals look and function when they smoke weed. I used to have, there was this one child that I know, man. Had the potential to make it to the NBA. Had the potential. He had the height and he had the game. He had the skills. Just a little bit more polish, just a little bit more dedication to his craft. He could have made it to the college. He probably would have been in the D2. And if he went into the draft, he probably could have made it. I seen this boy one summer. If it wasn't this summer, it was last summer because I didn't even go to that area this year. That man dropped, that man dropped probably at least 50 pounds. I seen it in his neck. I was like, yo, bro, you good? He was like, yeah, I'm chilling. And I see him and he just had the look of a man that was under the influence. And I told them, I said, yo, bro, you gotta put down the weed, bro. You're becoming skinny. I could see how skinny you are. And you're wasting your talent and you're letting your life pass you by. He like, nah, I got this, big bro. You ain't gotta worry. That man is a year older than my son. My son is 20 years old. That man is nowhere to be heard of. That young boy is nowhere to be heard of. I wouldn't be surprised if his family disowned him and kicked him out. Now he's out here surviving off the streets. You know how many children I'm seeing today living off the streets? I'm gonna do a live talking about that. These so-called real street niggas, the real street niggas, are what you call the modern day weirdos. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that. But right now we gotta discuss how crack got into your hood and who funded and started it and why am I talking about this? Let us continue. CIA-owned archives show the overlaps. Yes, check these documents. I have the documents. Matter of fact, let me pull these documents up for you guys. Why not? Hold on. Let me pull these documents up, right? Let me pull these documents up, people. Let me pull these documents. And this is a book too, which you guys can find at CIA.gov. Yeah. Share my screen. Right here. On CIA.gov. Okay? Yeah. Covert action. Information bulletin number 28. For $5, that's how much you could get for the CIA and drugs. We're not gonna read all of it. We're not gonna read none of it actually. This is homework for you guys to do. Because I've been knowing about this. I've been knowing about this since the early 2000s. When I knew about let me take that back. I knew about this since the mid 2000s. And when I seen this, that's when I stopped selling drugs. When I seen this and I realized, oh, these are the ones that was, oh, I can't be associated with that. It was this. And when I was with my man, shout out to my mans, you know what I'm saying? Not saying no names, shout out to my mans. When we was in the trap house, there was a lady pregnant, bro. Yes, pregnant, knocking on the door, asking for some crack. And my mans didn't have no sympathy whatsoever. And you know what he told me? He said like this. He said, man, F this and her seed. If she don't care for her child, why should I? And I looked at him. I said, nah, I will not be a part of that. And just a FYI, he was making good money too. We wasn't making the outpo. We wasn't making these imaginary numbers. But we was seeing $5, $7, $8, $10,000 a week. Yeah. Now you take that and you times that for the month. It's 4 weeks in a month. 10 bands. You do the math. 40,000. Splitting it, what, 3 ways. Yeah. It was a nice hefty penny. But it came with a cost. And that cost was destroying a little boy or little girl's life. I didn't know what she was carrying. I didn't know what the sex was. I just knew that what that transaction was awakening for me. Oh, this is not something that I want to do. How can I do this? And what really bust my head, because at that time my son was only 3 years old, which means that when this child is born, boy or girl, this child will end up being around my son. And if you can't say you here to protect your child, but yeah, you're promoting the things that can make your child go wild. Yeah. Okay. The cocaine connection. Okay. Who deals the drugs? Okay. The chemical, biological warfare. Okay. They even got the origin and the spread of AIDS. Oh, for those that they know, that's also man-made, straight out the laboratory. Oh, I got the declassification. Matter of fact, go order yourself the Pale White Horse. R.I.P. to William S. Cooper. A former CIA agent, true word, my phone just went off. Former CIA agent who came out talking this. He had his very own comrades come to him, begging him to stop because they was ordered to take him out. And he said, I can't live this life no more. I can't live this lie anymore. And one day he was driving. They unalived him and threw him off the cliff, guys. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you guys can read this for yourself. Okay. Look, they even got one. It says the origin and the spread of AIDS, right? And then it says, is AIDS a non-infectious? Okay. And then you get the Delta Gate. Okay. You guys should read these stories, read these books, read them while you have the chance to, because we are heading down government lockdown. You heard what I said. We are heading down government lockdown. Okay. Now in this book, as you guys can see, it literally outlines the covert chemical influence operation. Then the National Security Archives, yes, there's so much, followed the money. Now, I didn't put the link to that up. Okay. But their research proved that the CIA helped traffic cocaine to fund foreign wars, similar to why they told you 9/11 happened and what was the reason for them to go to Iraq, knowing damn well that the person that did it was never in Iraq, knowing damn well that the person that supposedly did it was also a CIA agent. And some of you guys know this. Huh? Yeah. The same cocaine that tore down our neighborhoods, that's what they came to do. So while the government labeled us addicts and criminals, their own agency were supplying, funding, and studying the very same drug. That's not ironic. That's called policy. You understand me? It's called policy. Okay? So let's connect it all, people. UCLA mapped the addiction model. Ronald K. Siegel performed the behavioral response. The CIA weaponized it, then threw it throughout the community, right? Causing economic destruction and media propaganda like the movie Scarface. Oh man, you never seen Scarface? I would never let my children watch that garbage. Yes, garbage. All these mafia movies. What gangster movie came out? There was a gangster movie that came out, guys, where the man was told that he was not allowed to bring to sell drugs, to crack the cocaine to his people, but he had to solely sell it to the black community. I forgot the movie. If anybody remember the movie, please put it in the chat. If anybody remembers the movie, please, I beg you, put it in the chat. I don't remember it at all. Right? Yes. Media propaganda, guys. They use the propaganda and then they turn the victims into villains, okay? They paid the drug dealers. Listen, Rick Ross said it himself. One day he was walking and two Europeans came to him and said, yo, you want to make some money? He said, what kind of money? He said, you want to make thousands to $1 million a day? Rick Ross will tell you. And in return of his services, he was allowed to buy nice cars, wear jewelry, same shit that they do now, same nonsense they do with hip hop with the rappers. They allow them to have nice cars, wear nice jewelry, be around all the exotic, MK Ultra women. Yes, these women is controlled. That's why every woman in the industry, they get passed on. They go from one celebrity to the other. You will never find them dealing with no regular Joe Blow the lover man. And if they do deal with the Joe Blow the lover man, these people end up not being celebrities no more. You haven't heard shit about Britney Spears. Jennifer Lopez wanted to break free, and she had no choice but to get back into the loop, or she was gonna lose it all. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You guys don't know what's going on. I'm gonna give you this barbecue chicken. You're gonna eat it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna thank me, and I'm gonna thank you too. Because they said that crack epidemic is their fault. They blame the crack on us. But the blueprint came from state-funded labs. This wasn't about public health. It was about public management. They engineered chaos and made billions off it through incarceration, pharmaceuticals, and of course, welfare dependency. And now they're pulling the rug from everything. They don't want to give nobody no help because they already got society just how they want it. America is either obese, mentally, you know what, physically, spiritually, you know what? We are all out of balance, all out of wax. All of us is dealing with some level of eternal trauma, sickness, and disease. All of us. And you're seeing it in real time. When they told you that they was going to make America great, they was basically telling you that they was going to remove all the things that got you a little too close to them. They're going to remove the things that got you a little too close to them. Because as we was getting closer, as we was getting black politicians, a black president, a black CEO of a Fortune 500, black celebrity basketball players, we started feeling like we was better. We didn't need them. And they was this and they was that. And meanwhile, guys, there's a survival fight going on right now in real time as we speak. These people are in survival mode. What you mean by survival mode, Junns? They are leading the categories in miscarriages. They are leading the category in stillbirth. They are leading the category of not being able to get pregnant. And not only are they leading the category in that, they are also dying off, unaliving a little too quick. They're unaliving more than children are being born. So what did they do? I'll tell you. They started coming into your hood because they know that the only chance of survival for the next 50, 60 years is integrating. It's intermingling. Yes, the same people that if you even kissed one of their girls, you would have been lynched somewhere, are now saying, honey, you better go get yourself a nigger. But mama, but dad, you said, I said, get yourself a nigger. But he gotta be the obedient, soft, talking like us type of nigger. We don't bring no 50 Cent over here. No. Bring the Pharrells. Bring the weirdos. Bring the Wiz Khalifas. He smoked reefer, we can deal with that. But he say, what up, blood? What up, gangster? He's doing 500 push-ups. We can't afford to be around that. Because when he comes around and he sees how we think, how we talk, and what we believe in, there's a possibility he might rebel. And I don't want to take down no nigga knowing that my grandson is going to come out of that, man. Am I lying, people? Am I talking lies? You really thinking in this about love? You really think it's Bob Marley, one love? Absolutely not. It would never be. The system will remind you that it would never be. When you read stuff like this, when this came on my table earlier today, I said, heck no, I gotta come talk about this. I would have been here, I would have been online a lot sooner, but I had to fix the computer. Huh? Let us continue. Every war on drug commercials, every just say no slogan was a psychological gaslighting. For those that don't know what gaslighting is, go look it up. They wanted you to believe you created your own destruction, but the evidence say otherwise, okay? Whenever they tell you they're running tests on monkeys or rodents, understand this right here. They're running tests on you, or they're running tests to get the outcome to give to you. Okay? Black and brown people are the biological subjects for Western progress. Let me say that again. Black and brown people are the biological subjects for Western progress. Okay? It's not a coincidence why they tell our women, our black women, to abort their babies. It's not a coincidence. It's not. It's not a coincidence that they tell our women to take day afters, plan B's and the C's and the D's. How many of our women has been taking that? I just seen, listen, I just seen a YouTube video earlier today where a sister received like 4 brain tumors. And when she went to the doctor said these tumors are from the results of taking birth control injections. These niggas got needles for you. You guys don't know when these people brought you here in America and they wanted to enhance their studies on medicine and surgeries and certain procedures. You know who was their #1 patient? You guessed it, black women. Yes, mama. You was the subject. And you know why they said that? They said that because there's nobody on the face of this earth that can tolerate and take on more pain than the black woman. There was no such thing as anesthesia for black women. There was no such thing as anesthesia for black women. Black women was told, shut up, sit down, spread your legs, and we're gonna take what we need. And that was it. There's stories of these people, oh jeez, tying a woman's hand, pregnant woman's hands, both arms tied to one horse. The other one was tied to the other horse. And these people then took the whip, you know, those whips that they used to whoop your behind with, and slapped the horse so hard that the horses just ran for dear life. And that woman that was carrying the seed was split in two, while that baby that was in her belly would fly into the air, and they would look up and watch it fall, and would leave the skeleton there. And that's where the creation of soccer comes from. Yeah. Yeah. You should be very, very upset, guys. You see, stuff like this, I can't forget, people. I can't forget stuff like that. I can't forget how these people would literally run inside of a lady's hut knowing that she just gave birth. Take this newborn child, take it to the pond and rest it there as bait for the alligators. And when the alligator snapped and they was chewing on the body, they will come with their ropes and tie that and tie the alligator or the crocodile and then poke that thing up until it's unalive, and then they will scrape the skin, and that's where you get your gator shoes. And they want you to forget all of that. That's why the schools are removing these type of histories. That's why they got TV shows where Christopher Columbus is telling you that slavery was justified and it was needed. I can't make this stuff up. Huh? What they created in the labs, people, it was not meant to heal, it was meant to harm. Every time they say public health, think about population control. Hence the C, you know what? The C11. They told you it was about public health. Listen, how can it be about public health when I could take you right here in Brooklyn on Utica Avenue, where on one side of the street you got Popeyes, McDonald's, Burger King, all on one strip competing with each other. And when you see the people within the community itself, everybody is out of shape. But these are the ones that's telling you it's about public health. So when you hear public health, you better think about population control. They call it research. We call it reality. And the reality is everything from poverty to pathologically was planned. They use science as a weapon, policies as a disguise, and media as the delivery system. You, my people, are not the problem. You are the product because you are property. I posted something like, I'll probably say a month ago on my IG, where this young man was taken down by firearms, and the people was in an outrage because they witnessed the police go the opposite way until the friction was simmered down. Then he proceeded to come. Why am I saying that? Why am I saying that? Hold on a minute. Give me a second. Now, where was I? I lost my train of thought. Where was I? I forgot what I was saying. I went to go see something and it just threw me off. But yeah, these people will tell you that it's all about, helping and making sure that everybody is good and everybody's this. In reality, all of this is a plan. And it hurts me when our people don't even see that they are the subject. Oh, that's what I was saying. So everybody was in an outrage because the police officers went the opposite way until the noise simmered down. And they came like, you's a bitch ass nigga because you ain't doing nothing. You walked away. You could have prevented this. The reason why the police walked away, because they was never designed to protect property. They was designed to protect the business, to make sure that the property is doing what the owners of the property, which is your slave owners, who owns you by your stocks and your bonds, your social security. Yeah. Your birth certificate. That's their bonds. That's their ownership. Because you're not putting your name on that birth certificate. You're putting your slave owner name on that birth certificate. So basically, they own you. and they own a very high percentage of you. To denounce your birth certificate, to do it the right way, you got to put up $50,000. That's the bond. And with all the shit that's going on right now, I wouldn't be surprised if it skyrocked to 100,000. You see, their job was never to protect the people. It was to protect property. And you properties, you are a liable property. You're not an accessible property. The ones that is accessible are the ones that are in the NBA, the ones that's generating millions of dollars for them. Those are the properties where the police will protect. That's why when you see them walk the streets, they instantly got security. Meanwhile, me and you could be the biggest drug dealer in the hood. You ain't getting no security. They just took me off TikTok. Who gives a damn? Nonsense. Anyway. Yeah. You're not protected the way that you think that you are. Your property. Your name alone lets you know that. When you sign your name on the birth certificate, you're not signing you're not signing Kute Kente. You're passing on. You know when they say old money, you are that old money. You're passing on every minute. Every birth certificate. Every social security. It's a bond on your head. They calling it misinformation. They know what it is. It's facts. When you get removed off platforms, it's because you're saying too much. You're saying more than the people is deserving to know. Because imagine if everybody knew that there was property that you were seeing as property, not a human being. You will react and move differently. Imagine if everybody realized and came to the understanding that there was, taken from their homes. It'll be a whole different scenery. But because you guys refuse to accept that, and you rather just sit back and relax and collect, you know what? This is the reason why you guys are suffering. Me and the Wiz was talking right now. She was saying all these people is complaining about the government lockdown and this and that, and they're gonna do this and they're gonna do that. You guys ain't gonna do absolutely nothing. Because you guys have not elevated from the dopamine era. You heard what I said, the dopamine era. Everybody's on some level of dopamine. Feed me, gimme, 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 gimme. I'm entitled. Don't tell me nothing. I don't want to hear none of that. That's what you call a person under a high influence of dopamine. That's what's going on. Our people is dopified. That's why they call you a dope head. That's what crack do. That's what weed do. That's what cake do, ice cream, whatever. We are all in that condition. Alcohol is filled with sugar. You guys don't understand that alcohol is not what unalives you. Oh no. What unalives you is, and I repeat, what unalives you is the intense amount of sugar that you are intaking that your liver no longer can clean out because it's an outside source. It's not natural sugar. It is processed. It was created out of a lab. Anything out of the lab and you take it is going to destroy you. Just like the crack was created out of a lab, given onto monkeys because the monkeys remind them of you, dummy. Yeah, I know. I know. So again, you, my people, are not the problem. You are the product. Okay? So in closing, people, the proof is right there in the government database, in the university libraries, in their own handbooks. They study addiction not to cure it, but to control it. And the same patterns are repeated today. Fentanyl, synthetic opioids, digital dopamine. You heard what I said, digital dopamine, meaning you guys can't get off your phones. You guys can't get off the computer. You guys can't get away from the screen. Yes, digital dopamine. This is what I said. You are living in the dopamine era. All of us are living in the dopamine era. And that's why they're so aggressive with everything that they do. Because they know without a shot of a doubt, you ain't gonna do nothing but bitch and complain. Why you think they're unleashing out the digital IDs? They know you ain't gonna do nothing. Yeah, you're gonna protest, you're gonna march. Then what? You're gonna go home and wake up and have to accept that reality. That's just what it is. All of it is just tools of distraction and domination. It's the same playbook, different decades. But now the kidnaps are waking up, supposedly. It's only a handful of us because a lot of us do not want to accept the fact that they was kidnapped. Okay? But for those that are waking up, we're reading their papers. We're calling out their lies. And we rebuilding the system they tried to destroy us. We rebuilding the system, not their system, our spiritual system, our El Kebulan roots, our connection back to the motherland, our connection back to the people. The same people that they demonized, the same practices they said that was evil, we're tapping back into that. And because of that tapping, you see what's going on in the world. You see what's going on in America. There's something coming in the works. I don't know. But when it do come, nobody can say they was not warned. Nobody's going to be able to say we wasn't prepared. Nobody's going to be able to say that. Okay? So again, so when they say trust the science, ask who's science, who's funding it, who's controlling it. Because facts don't lie, people do. And remember, people, you have to respect your DNA. Let me say that again. Respect your DNA. It's facts over beliefs. Redeem or destroy. The end. So for my people, please like, comment, share, subscribe, join the movement. My apologies. I was longer than I was intended to, but you know I get passionate about this. You know I got to talk to you guys about this. You know we need to understand that we have been under attack from the minute you came onto these shores. The system ain't never changed. The people would never change. These people would never have a love for you. Never, ever. Holly Berry right now came out and said it's hard to pay child support to a man that keeps calling you the N-word. What you thought was gonna happen, Holly? Huh? Huh? What you thought was going to happen, Holly? Our women is giving themselves up to the very to the very people that violated your entire existence. And now, and I'm not even talking like violated. I'm talking about like violated. Like the violation where there's no forgiveness type of violation. But you know why you keep forgiving? Because they gave you a story of Jesus and told you, what would Jesus do? Jesus wouldn't do a damn thing. Yeah. We're going to talk about that later on too. We're going to talk about it all. Your brother man is back. Took time off, mental, physical, spiritual fatigue. But now I'm good. Working out again. My shoulders is better. I'm eating more. I'm sleeping better. My connection with my sons is even better. Like everything is going copacetic. I'm not even mad. Even through all the BS that's going on in the world, all the BS that's going on around me, not even mad. Because I knew that this day would come. I knew that this day would come. I remember you could ask the Wiz, she would tell you. I be talking about it, and it's just like, damn, so this nigga Junior is always right. He's right once again. And it's not I'm always right. It's just I always keep my mind on the right path. And you guys should do the same. Know thyself, know thy enemy. Know your wealth, know your worth. Okay? You are the children of this earth. Okay? Your soul is connected to the solar universe. Connect it back. Denounce the bull crap and connect it back. All right? It's your brother, man. You understand? And I'ma holler at y'all.